All right, guys, let's talk about this story. This is really, really Orwellian. I heard about this in the immediate aftermath of Roe versus Wade. CNN has now done a segment on it. Let's listen and we'll talk about it.
In the wake of the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, some fear that technology could help target and surveil pregnant women. And experts warn that data collected from fertility apps and Google searches could be used to prosecute abortion. CNN's Vanessa Yurkevich has the details.
Any data related to reproduction is profitable.
Our data is everywhere, and it's for sale. Now that Roe versus Wade is overturned, law enforcement could use a woman's personal data to bring criminal charges if they suspect she's received an illegal abortion.
There is no difference in the data from your reproductive choices than the pair of shoes you looked at online. It's treated exactly the same in the law right now, and that's what the problem is.
As states tighten their abortion laws, prosecutors could go after people seeking an abortion or those helping them by subpoenaing data linked on fertility apps, period trackers, and on internet searches. Companies currently sell that kind of data mainly to advertisers because it's profitable.
Data brokers, law enforcement buy information from them all of the time. It could be used to incriminate us for women and girls who obtain abortions in violation of state laws. And it can be used to...
Think about how extreme that is. Tens of millions. Hundreds of millions, they say. That's certainly not just in the U.S., but I'm sure it's tens of millions in the U.S. of women use these like period trackers. And that information is stored in these apps. And by the way, some of the apps have said like, yeah, we'll comply with law enforcement. So in other words, if a state government wants this information and then they learn by looking at the data in the app that, oh, this person obtained an abortion, but they live in a red state, but then they went to a blue state, get an abortion, and they came back. Well, they could be prosecuted because of the data that's stored in the app. Think about how extreme that is. Think about how extreme that is. And again, deeply Orwellian. I mean, you want to talk about they're tracking things that nobody should track. I mean, look, I would argue also don't use those apps, ladies. Delete them now. But certainly when they signed up for this, they didn't also think, well, I'm going to share this information with the state and then maybe it'll be used to prosecute me. It doesn't get more authoritarian than that. It doesn't get more Big Brother than that. And this is something, again, that looks like right-wing legislatures are going to move on this. So all they're talking about freedom and liberty, and that's what we believe in. Nonsense. Nonsense.
People in jail.
Fertility and period tracking apps have some of the most sensitive reproductive information. But since Roe versus Wade was overturned, Flow, a period tracking app which says they have 240 million users, announced an
240 million
anonymous mode, where users will be able to limit their personal information. But members are encouraged to reach out to the company if they want their historical data removed.
So in other words, even if you use anonymous mode, everything you put in there previously is still fair game. So if you want that removed, you got to call the company to try to get that removed. Oh, I don't like this, man.
How can you fully protect against a member's data not being revealed?
We are making sure that our anonymous mode at Natural Cycles will be impossible for us to connect the personal data and the sensitive data.
Alina Berglund-Sherwitzel is the co-founder of Natural Cycles. Who has access to that key that could only connect the data?
Only the user.
Natural Cycles is a subscription FDA-approved birth control app that also helps those who want to get pregnant.
We have very sensitive data on unintended pregnancies, but we are very much in control of that analysis and of that data.
CNN reached out to nearly a dozen big tech companies about how they would handle data requests through subpoenas and warrants from law enforcement targeting abortion seekers. Some did not respond at all or directly to the question. Apple responded saying health data is encrypted when two-factor authentication is enabled. While Meta says, quote, we comply with government requests for user information only where we have a good faith belief that the law requires us to do so.
Yeah, but like the law may require you to do so in the state, but it's a stupid law. So are you going to listen because it's a law? This is where like the internet and technology and privacy, it all like comes together in staring in the face of an authoritarian right-wing evangelical government, state governments. And it's like, well, Jesus Christ, how the fuck did we get here? We should have never gotten here in the first place. But now that we're here, it looks like, you know, there aren't strong enough guardrails and privacy rules to protect people.
They could fight warrants in court. But if the warrants are upheld, they're going to be ordered to comply.
Ugh.
Some legal experts don't believe even anonymous mode data is fully protected.
Ugh.
Say the only way to fully protect privacy is through federal law limiting the data companies can collect, store, and sell.
There's a lot of
Yeah. How much faith do you have in the federal government passing a law on this? Here we have a Democratic House, Senate, and presidency, and this isn't even being discussed. And if anybody did bring it up, they say, "Oh, can't get through the Senate. Sinema and Manchin are against it." It's like, ugh, you can't get anything fucking done.
a panic right now, and I think rightfully so, about the feeling and the ability to trust and expect that the information about, most sensitive information about our bodies and our relationships and our health is ours.
Vanessa Yurkevich, CNN, New York.
Yeah, I mean, super big brother, super authoritarian, totally flies in the face of a belief in freedom and liberty. I mean, ladies, delete your fucking period tracking apps immediately. Please, for the love of God, delete them. And call the platform and tell them to wipe your information clean, because there is no privacy anymore. And now we're talking about, they really rolled back abortion rights. And these red states are going to crack down in every single way you can imagine. And they're already talking about super overreaching into things that are without a doubt unconstitutional. You know, punishing somebody for going to another state to get an abortion. But they're a free American. They can go where they want. But we're going to punish you because you followed the law in another state, but it's not in our state. And we're still going to crack down on you. What the fuck are we talking about, man? What are we talking about? So Orwellian. I mean, I know that word is overused, that term is overused, but there's never been a better time to use it.
Ever since Adpocalypse, when YouTube defunded all independent news and politics overnight, we haven't trusted them. We know they can pull the rug out from underneath us at any time. If you enjoy this content, please consider tipping $1 or $2 per month on the Secular Talk Patreon. Link in the video description box below. Thanks for your support.